If you own a house or are hoping to someday have a house, or you care about houses, or you know someone else who's thinking about getting a house, you might be aware that housing prices are rising. Now, to be fair, they're usually rising, but in the last year, they've gone up by double-digit percentage points. Now, this is great news if you're one of the people who has a house, but the news ain't so great if you're someone who's trying to get into a house. So, you might be wondering, what's going on? Why are the prices going up? The answer is simple. There's low supply and high demand. And if you want to get even simpler, you can blame COVID. In this video, I'm going to answer two main questions. Why is the supply low and demand high? And are the housing prices going to crash again like they did in 2008? Let's look at supply for just a minute. If we look at 2020, we see a major drop in the supply of houses right at the time the economy shut down. And so let's talk about why this happened. Coronavirus meant a lot of people were staying home from work, which means, especially in manufacturing, there's a backlog, which leads to shortages of lumber and other raw materials, which means it's expensive to get those things. We also had steel tariffs, that doesn't help. And so add these things together, and it's really expensive to build a house. And so many builders are waiting until those prices fall before they start building. Go figure. So there's your supply in a nutshell. Let's talk about demand now. Now, demand is high for several reasons. One of them is the stimulus checks. Stimulus checks meant that people who couldn't afford down payments before now can, and it means that other people can afford bigger ones. There's also low interest rates, lowering the cost of borrowing money to buy a house. We also have a strong pandemic recovery in our economy. And people are working from home 10 times more than they used to. And so people want better homes to work in. Lots of reasons for demand to be high right now. So supply and demand talk aside, we should probably ask the big question. Is this the bubble? Is this price gain sustainable, or are we just going to have a 2008 style crash? Well, if you ask a random real estate expert about it, their answer will probably be, probably not. You see, what's happening right now is kind of crazy, but it makes sense and is based on real market fundamentals. So they expect the market to slow down over the next couple of years as supply adjusts, but they don't expect it to crash. So I think that wraps things up nicely. You understand why the housing market is skyrocketing. You also understand that it's mostly due to COVID-19 and the craziness that followed. You don't need to panic, unless you're trying to buy a house right now, then panic. But for the rest of you, if you thought this video was helpful, go ahead and subscribe to my videos. I'm going to be doing more current event stuff in the near future. Thanks, guys. Happy econing.